right after World War II, my dad's nephew, Albert Guerrero, and he was only younger by 5 years, he came to my dad and he said, why don't we start a business, a fish canning business? They had a knowledge of fish canning from their experiences of working on Terminal Island. Albert was a mechanic. He ran the steamers and the canning equipment and so on. My dad ran the warehouse. Make a long story short, what they ended up doing is they bought an empty lot in an old industrial part of Wilmington, and they built a very small building. They actually built it. And they made a very small canning facility, and they started out canning fillet of mackerel. Somewhere in the area of about 1950, Albert's wife, Ruth, made the suggestion to him, why don't you try canning some menudo, which is a very traditional Mexican soup made up of primarily 3 ingredients: diced beef tripe, Mexican-style hominy, and a chili broth. And the famous cure that this soup does, supposedly, is to cure a hangover. And it's very popular among the Mexican people because, as you know, the Mexican people enjoy life, and many times this takes on having a few drinks, and so it's naturally that they would like some menudo after they have some drinks. So anyway, he said, sure, make me a pot, I'll take it to the work, and we'll can it up and see what happens. So she did, he did, and that was the beginning. So he says, what name are we going to have? And I said, we'll come up with one. So I got a book of names. Make a long story short, we picked Juanita. And so that was the name that we decided to give the lady. And so we started off with the Juanita's Menudito Menudo. And we had no competition. There wasn't much business to be had in those days. There was no such thing as an international aisle or a Hispanic aisle. There weren't even tortillas being sold at that time. I think refried beans were just starting to get sold. There was just no Mexican food commercially being sold in the marketplace. So we were one of the early pioneers in the Mexican food category. We can safely say that Wilmington is actually the menudo capital of the world, because virtually every can of menudo that is sold in this country, we produce it.